Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Infinity Train, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
Sarah Potter.
Hello.
And April Collins.
Hi there.
It's night 4 of Infinity Train, and boy, do we have a big night of episodes to talk about. The Chrome Car and the Ball Pit Car aired just now on Cartoon Network, and we'll be reacting to these huge episodes, everything that happened, breaking it down, giving our final theories before tomorrow's finale. It's already all here and happening, but check out our previous Infinity Train podcast at overlyanimated.com. Search for Infinity Train Overly Animated on your podcast app. Or our YouTube is youtube.com/overlyanimated. Subscribe to not miss tomorrow's finale discussion. But before that, 2 pretty huge episodes, especially this last episode mythology-wise. Michelle, what are your reactions to what happened?
I feel really broken. I'm shocked by how serious they got. Like, I was going along enjoying the heck out of that Ball Pit Car and the khaki bunny.
Yeah.
And like, oh my god! So much happened, and just Loki. I think it's ridiculous. The Conductor's a robot, and he wears like this dumb cloak over himself, like he's a man or something.
Excuse me, robots can wear clothes too.
I mean, it just looks so silly. I don't know, but like, still, he's very intimidating. Oh my gosh, I definitely think this show has hit its stride somewhere between like last night and tonight. I feel like because all these episodes are just so good. I'm really invested now. I'm really excited. I kind of can't believe there's only 2 more. I feel like this could go on for a while, but it's definitely ramping up for something. And I think they're both really good episodes. Like, I know the Ball Pit Car kind of like takes you into all these theorizing places, but the Chrome Car itself is a really good episode. And I think it's a really good character episode. And I don't know. I'm just really happy. Whoever boarded these did such a good job, and I'm so engrossed in the show now. So,
Nice.
thumbs up from me.
This is great. We've convinced Michelle completely on what's going on here. That's fantastic. Sarah, what are your reactions to tonight's episodes?
I really liked them. I think I liked the Chrome Car. Yeah, the name's Chrome Car. I liked Chrome Car more, I think. I really enjoyed.
That's a hot take, I guess.
Is it?
I believe it.
We don't have a baseline take yet, but there you go.
How is it hot?
Well, the Ball Pit Car is the one where all the stuff happens, so usually people like that one.
I like character stuff more than I'm not
don't knock character
on the Conductor yet. Like, I still have to see like what he's doing. Right now he feels very I don't know what his motivations are, and right now his motivation, like what he's doing is just classic, like he's evil for no real, like he's just evil. You know what I mean? Like, there's no other thing going on than that. Like, he just wants people to stay where they are on their cars, and I don't know. I need to see more for why he's doing things, and then I'll probably be higher on him. But without that, I just liked the Chrome Car more. I also just liked how it was just the Ball Pit Car was like about a car about something that was in the real world, and the Chrome Car was just a much more out there idea, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, nice. Okay. We'll dig more into both of the cars, the Chrome Car, but probably talk about the Ball Pit Car first. But April, what are your reactions to tonight?
Okay, so tonight,
here we go.
You're like, it was an ordeal.
It was definitely an ordeal. I don't even know where to begin. Like, I'm still processing, which, I mean, I guess is good, but also bad, because there's so much has happened in the last, 2 days, or the last 4 episodes, that I feel like I'm still, catching up, and, but, these episodes were both very, very good, and I just really enjoyed, the aesthetics of both places. Michelle mentioned the storyboarding, and I agree. The storyboarding on these episodes is wonderful. Chrome Car, yeah, definitely a character episode, and it's making me wonder the idea that I kind of got from that is that are we dealing with Tulip's depression, or as a result of her parents' divorce, because that kind of seems like the path that we're going down. And I don't know what you guys talked about yesterday, because I didn't get to listen to that one.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I listened into
It's okay.
I listened to Tuesday's podcast, but
That's
I didn't
good.
get to listen to yesterday's. But so like that was kind of like my idea, like that was just like floating around in my head. And then like when we get to the ball pit car, we have the conductor going on about like you should have stayed in your cart with your happy thoughts. And I was like, oh, we are doing depression, which I guess like hits me on all of the personal levels. Also, not a fan of the conductor because I don't like what he did to Atticus, and I know like
I know that's a hot take.
Oh,
He's a bad
How
guy.
is that how is, oh my god.
oh no. Oh well, and also like I think I'm like the dog person of this group, so
Oh, April, yeah.
So
Not
I
a
was
good
like-
day for dogs.
no, it wasn't. And also, I guess that's how like we get the little roach thingies or whatever.
Mhm.
So I guess that one's answered. But yeah, these episodes are just amazing. Like this show is incredible, and I'm so sad that it's just a mini series.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I think it's like being done like extremely well for a mini series. So
Yeah. But well, we'll hopefully get more word on if it's truly the end or not after tomorrow at some point. But yeah, I don't know. This show is completely blowing me away. Yeah, the Chrome car was so good, and then the ball pit car is like throws all that mythology stuff at you, and it's really fantastic too. I agree. Like the aesthetics of these episodes really stand out. Like the ball pit car could just be like the mythology precursor to the finale episode, but it like does it in the context of this like zany bunny and happy-go-lucky, and it really plays with the mood, and it really hits you and everything going on. And then like it just, I think the Chrome car also like really continues the great Tulip characterization we've gotten, both like super standout episodes for the show, for the year. Like it just keeps hitting you. I kind of, it does kind of feel like the show hit its stride, but I also guess feel like it never didn't hit it. I feel like it was always in stride, like it was maybe like 2 and 3, or like, they're all good, right? Like the show's been really good since episode 1, and Ball Pit Car kind of feels more episode 1-y, in that a lot of heavy plot stuff happening, and it got really dark, and it like reveals. I love that it like reveals the conductor and gives a decent amount of answers without like answering the questions that we're still having heading into tomorrow. So I think that's a big thing, as we still have many questions about what's really going on with the train, but at least we have met the conductor, and that was really incredible. And we like see Atticus turn into the cockroach dog thing, and 1-1 is attempted to be killed, but is still there. So like we don't know if we answered all the 1-1 questions, but clearly they don't, want to take 1-1 back. They're trying to kill him. That was surprising. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot here, and I think that we definitely going to get into the ball pit car stuff that just happens. But also very eager to talk about stuff in the Chrome car because I really love both episodes. But yeah, so we meet this conductor. Why is he
wearing like a blanket robe?
That's not
He's
the
a
top,
robot.
Michelle. That's not the top story here. Okay.
He's
Yes, it is.
cold. He's made out of metal. He's just trying to stay warm.
Dylan,
Yeah,
he
it's
looks
cold.
like
He's a robot.
he looks like a knockoff like Star Wars.
No,
Dylan.
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, who's he fooling? We know he's a robot. We can see this part.
I think he's trying to hide being a robot.
Why?
Oh, like why is
What does it matter? Because he wants everyone to stay in their cars.
he want to be
Okay.
a human? Is he trapping humans so he can learn their ways to blend in outside the train world? Is that it?
I don't think so, but that's interesting. So we, I'm going to say probably not for that theory. We meet the conductor. We had a big discussion last podcast about the difference between steward and conductor, and that was a good predecessor to this episode, which
It was
distinguishes. Yeah, Alex was spot on with the names, even though he cheated with meta information. But it's
It's what, 3 years old information?
yeah, it's
from
its
the
old
podcast?
information. Yeah, we. So we had the steward, which is the machine gun eyes army thing, like multi. Yeah, and then we meet the conductor, who's that red line that we saw before, and we talked about: is it a different person? It's a different person. It's not the train. It's not the steward. It is its own big bad conductor, and he like tries to kill 1-1, then is chastising Tulip for leaving her car and for making things not the way they're supposed to be. It's like, you put your friends in danger and cease your journey, he says, and then he kills Atticus
with a gun.
Zap.
Okay, he doesn't kill him. He gives him a makeover. It was different.
Okay.
It's a bug Dementor now.
Yeah, turns him into a bug Dementor. And then that bug Dementor tries to suck out Tulip's life force, then it stops, and then it...
Yeah, I don't know why it stopped.
Yeah,
that didn't make sense.
And then chases it, and then Tulip traps it and breaks down crying at the end of the episode. 1-1 is alive, though, so that's one good thing that happened. One good thing that happened.
Still in question. Can we colloquially refer to the Conductor as Blanket Boy from now on?
Absolutely
Yes.
not. No.
Oh, come on!
He specifically announces himself in this episode as the Conductor.
He wore that blanket. It's undeniable. I think Blanket Boy should be.
Undeniable that what?
I didn't appreciate him being like, I conduct what you do. Whoa! Like,
oh, yeah.
No, if he says, like, because I am the Conductor. Yeah.
Yes. He's
He
like,
conducts like the people.
He has like an inferiority complex, I feel.
Okay, so let's talk. Yeah, so I feel like other than that, he's this big imposing robot with the red line thing. Okay, so that's first of all as a robot. Second of all, like why is doing these things? So I feel like this is the big question. It's like, what are the Conductor's motivations? What is his role in all of this? I mean, I think the most notable thing is that he seems to very much want order in all the train cars.
Just like 1-1.
Just
when
that also
fixed.
stood out to me. Yeah. So that like 1-1 in 1-1's fixed mode, as 1-1 refers to that in the previous episode, or no, it's in this episode. I think that when I was different before, or when I went through the change. I think
the change.
Yeah. So that's still a question heading into the finale tomorrow. Is what was 1-1's change? But yeah, it stood out to me that the Conductor's main motivation seems to be order, which was the same as 1-1. Other things, though, is the Conductor tries to kill 1-1, which is not what we expected, I think. And then also it's not just enough that the Conductor's like, you disrupted order, that's bad, Tulip. He seems to specifically want to berate Tulip, like, and punish her. So it's not just like this amoral robot. It's like, this is all of this is your fault. Like, that's so unnecessary to say. Like, what? Like, why does he have a grudge against Tulip? Before, like, does the train even care about Tulip? Yes, the Conductor cares about Tulip. All of this is your fault. So that's like a big question. Like, what does Tulip do? Why is all this about her, or is Tulip just someone that went outside of their car and that's frowned upon? I don't know. These are the questions I think I'm having after all this. Sarah, what's your reaction to like what the Conductor wants?
My reaction is that the Conductor the Conductor tells us who he is. And based on what we've seen from the show so far, I don't know if we should trust him. I don't know if we should trust everything that he said. I think that there's more going on than what he says. And I think that Tulip is supposed to be going from car to car. That, like, she's doing that right. But clearly she wasn't supposed to bring anything from car to car. She's supposed to just get through these things on her own for some reason.
I think he says Tulip should have stayed in her car.
Did he?
Should have stayed
in the tape room, but like, yeah, I don't know. Then
he also says like, I tried to help you with this tape. I tried to.
Yeah.
So maybe that was about the tape. They should have stayed put. Yeah, maybe it's unclear.
Maybe but that would just mean he's just an extension of the steward, which doesn't really fit in my head. Like, if he's just keeping them in their seats, like, does he have the same motivations as the tentacle eye gun robot?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like he should be doing something else.
He seemed very anti, like, her having friends, because he blamed them being in trouble because they went with her. Yeah, and that's kind of weird too.
And he did the fallacy of like, you made me do this, made me kill your friends, like, it's your fault. And they're like, no, you're the one hurting them.
You're the one with the blanket. Excuse you. You're the one.
Again, the blanket is not a key here.
Fault of the fashion.
This is about as important as Marco's stupid cape. Like,
Marco's cape is much more important.
It's his evil Batcave for his evil train.
Michelle, what do you think? What do you think's going on with the conductor?
I don't know. I really don't know anymore. This is not what I expect. I always thought the steward was the conductor, actually. So
We didn't even know they're separate people. Yeah.
I thought they were the same thing. So yeah, I'm trying to cipher out with you guys like what is his goal different from the steward, but like the not moving around, the staying on the train, I guess. Like he definitely doesn't want to ever leave the train. And is that because he wants her to stay there till she goes insane and so the cloud can eat her, like that one kid that, I don't know. I have so many questions about the conductor, and like we did not get like very much information besides the blanket and the fact that he wants to kill Wan. So I honestly don't know. I need at least one more episode for context, but
you get 0 more episodes of speculation.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this episode, seeing the conductor, like we are actually maybe turning into a pro cat. Actually, like we're down a dog. Poor Atticus, rip. He didn't deserve.
Why is it pro cat? Why?
It's horrifying because, like, you see her struggle because he's like trying to involve her even more. She's like, "I did what you want. Like, can I please like be free now?" And he's like, "Nah, we're not done yet."
Yeah, the cat was coerced into.
She very reluctantly like went after Wan. I think she's gonna end up tag teaming with Tulip and Wan to like figure this out because she knows about the conductor and the steward. She can probably help them get what they want if they make a deal. So, yay, cat redemption! It might happen.
Cat-demption, okay.
But
cat-demption, yeah.
My question now is, now that you've said that, Michelle, like talked about this, like I realized another thing that's weird because they wanted Wan clearly to kill him, but they were also upset about Atticus, but it wasn't the same urgency. There was different levels of urgency there.
I think he did. I don't think he would have killed Atticus if Atticus didn't attack and if he wasn't like trying to punish Tulip. Right? Atticus doesn't matter. Yeah,
but he also still said that everyone should have stayed in their car. Like, but
he does care that people left their car.
Yeah. Like there's a different. What I'm saying is there's different levels of importance that he's putting on things that are happening here, and it's interesting to see what those are. Like Atticus, it goes. I think it goes 1-1, then Tulip, then Atticus, but he still cared about all those things, and for different reasons. It seemed.
It kind of does seem like 1-1 was still the most important, but they not important enough to try to like save. Like it was important to get him out of the picture.
Yeah,
which was again, we were expecting 1-1 to be like the long lost child of the conductor or the conductor.
I mean, maybe
himself.
It is though. He was really scared of the conductor, but he didn't say like you're not my mom. So maybe he is the mom.
Maybe.
Well, why is the conductor trying to kill 1-1?
I'm trying.
Okay, is he trying to kill him? I think they're just trying to like keep him in a place where they can capture him. Yeah, if they drop the whole thing on him, that's probably not going to kill him, but it'll keep him secure so they can snatch him.
No, it seemed like they thought he was dead.
Okay. I think I figured it out. I think I got it. I figured it out.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm figured it out. So this goes along with the themes of the show, because the themes of the show are Tulip is this logical character that's trying to come to terms with the emotions she has for the things that have happened in her life. And that's kind of like the journey she's going on. And I'm trying to tie this together with why this stupid conductor is wearing this blanket. Because clearly the blanket has to go on. I'm going, Dylan, shut me up. I'm going somewhere serious with this.
I haven't said anything yet.
Wait.
Okay, so I think this might be something like, if any of you know Portal or that thing, I think what it is 1-1 might be like some kind of part of the conductor. Like 1-1 is the emotions conductor, and the conductor doesn't want those back, and it doesn't want to have those emotions for things. So the conductor thinks it can act better without them. And I think when the blanket, if the blanket ever comes off, I know we're calling it a blanket. It's not.
No, you're right. Why is the blanket there? Maybe there's a reason.
No, but I'm saying that underneath it might have more of the orbs, like 1-1, but they represent different parts of him.
So he's a bunch of orbs under his blanket.
Yeah, for different modules of himself, and 1-1's just another one of those modules, and he doesn't want 1-1 back.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in play that 1-1 is related to the conductor, but it's a part of the conductor doesn't want. Like something.
Think about it. The conductor's head is a very similar shape and color as Wan. It's just like maybe more of an oval, and it's like it's like flipped parallel. Yeah. But like, the only thing that makes me have a question mark about that theory, Sarah, and I do think it's a really good one, is like what was it, like 2 episodes ago at this point? The episode with the turtles. Yes. When 1-1 like kind of reforms for a second and has one personality that's like whole,
1-1
it's immediate. Yeah, the one personality. it immediately tries to fix everything in this
Yes.
very like logical but kind of bad way. And if that's true, if that's its fixed form, how would that like give the conductor different emotions?
Because the thing is, it's like the conductor and all its modules want to make the car whole. They want to fix the train and keep the train running. But the ones we have are not the smart ones. They're just the emotions. They don't know how to fix things, but they know they need to.
Huh. Oh,
And-
So it's kind of like like that's like the leftover of being separated is like that drive to
Yes, they
fix
still have the
things.
drive to fix everything, but they don't know how to. And that ties back to Tulip, because this is a character, the conductor, who's this blindly logical character who doesn't want their emotions. And I think that ties together thematically, and that's why I'm kind of latching on to this idea.
no, I like it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
gives a very good reason for why one wants two very strong personalities also.
Yeah.
Because like a whole person would have both of those. Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, one could even simply just be like a defective part of the conductor that the conductor rejects now. You know, like it's
That's why where's the blanket? It all makes sense.
okay, again okay, but it's So I think I think something like that's likely where 1/1's like we still don't know 1/1's importance. That's clearly going to come into play. What does 1/1's the change mean? You know, like so these are definitely big things we're going to be expecting tomorrow. April, you said towards the beginning you definitely think this is something surrounding Tulip's like emotions. That's everything surrounding that. That's kind of where we're at yesterday, where we were like, this is related to it's all related to Tulip's arc and centered on what she's going through. I feel like tonight ostensibly maybe moves us a little further from that because it's all about like these literal robots that are tangibly here. So what do you, if this is some sort of thing that's like based around Tulip's emotions, like do you think the robots are like symbols? What is this all inside of something? Where are you thinking?
Ooh, that's such an interesting question. Because I hadn't gotten to, I guess, think that deeply into it. But I would, like, suspect that, because I think the biggest thing that, like, drives home that point is the whole video sequence that we got yesterday. And the fact that the conductor, like, referenced it and so did the cat. Because like in the video, like she has all of these like happy memories, but then when she like really thinks about it and gets down to it, that they're not happy memories. And so she like, it's almost like the conductor and the train are trying to put her into like force a happy like deposition upon her. But that's not really the case, and that's not really a good way to like cope or deal with, you know, those negative emotions, whether it's like depression from like, or, you know, depression, like the stress and anxiety of like her parents like separating, which obviously is like a stressor in her life. So, but I think that like, I think that's probably like, maybe that's what the train is doing is like, oh, we recognize that you're in emotional turmoil. Like, let's pick you up. We'll put you into a happy place for you. And then you can stay here forever kind of thing. So it's kind of like a deep dive into like the mind of people sort of situation. Like, what that means in terms of like the other cars, I don't know. Maybe like at one point there was like someone who like just found all of the immense joy in corgis, and so that's the corgi car, and maybe they don't exist anymore or something along those lines. Like they're just like leftover cars from people of the past.
So you think this is like therapy car train, except it's like the episode 2 of Final Space this season where it's like force someone into like being happy. It basically like picks up sad people and like makes them be happy.
Maybe kind of like, because that would also explain like why, because something else that I guess I've been questioning is like, why are there not other like humans? You know, like she seems to be the only one, and then for like the conductor to make like such a big deal and then to like basically like personally attack her and be like, well, if you would have stayed in your car, like all of this wouldn't be happening, and like you could just be having a grand old time in your car doing whatever kind of thing. And so it's almost like the conductor is kind of having a freak out about this as well, because it's like, you're supposed to stay in your car. That's where you're going to be happy. And then you left it. Like, why would you leave it?
But then why are all the cars set up to be puzzles to get through?
That's the thing. Yeah, I really like that theory, April, because like my whole thing of being concerned was that the train stops to like teach people a lesson and how to deal with their feelings. They have to fight their way out. But if it's just like sensing people are in emotional turmoil and it's picking that to be like, oh, you're sad? We'll make you happy for as long as you're alive, and then we'll feed you to the cloud. Like that makes sense, except for like the numbers changing, because that implies there's a way to get out and that the train is like involved in that and wants you to succeed, or at least gives you an option instead of just thinking that the solution is to keep you there happy in a fake train car forever. Well, so I don't know.
Well, see, and I like I appreciate you enjoying my theory, but I also don't know where like that. Like you brought up like essentially what I was gonna say was like, oh well, but I don't know how the numbers tie into any of this, because like we still don't know how the numbers tie into it, except like we made a huge jump from like, what was it, like 89 all the way down to 3, and I was like, wow, that's a big difference. Like those are not the same number in any way, shape, or form. So I haven't worked out that part of my theory, but I guess my time is limited, so maybe I'll figure it out in this time we have together.
Okay, we'll think about it as we go. But yeah, so I think the general thought that this still involves Tulip's like arc and emotional journey, like it's still centered on that, is a big thing, gonna be a big thing heading. Like, is it just Tulip or is it all people, or is this really just all about Tulip? Still something front of mind, I think, heading into tomorrow. The conductor itself, being so like, why does it care so much that everyone stays where it is? Is the conductor's kind of our proxy for the train, I guess. And so I think that's like a big thing, is like the train wants things to stay in place, but I agree. It also seems like it's meant to be, I don't know if they're all like puzzles, but it's meant to be progressed through. They all have doors, right? So that is interesting. The other aspect of this is at the end of the episode, we get Atticus turned into the roach dog that sucks out Tulip's soul, but so these things are things that the conductor has turned into these creatures. They're also seen outside, and we haven't gotten the soul, the sucking up into the cloud. That's so we have a lot of things that need to be resolved tomorrow. So there's, what's 1-1? What's the train's, and the conductor's purpose? What's this big cloud sucking things up?
What's up with that sucking cloud? We gotta figure that out. I do think maybe
what's the
train's
number?
goal,
that's a big one too.
Yeah, I do think maybe the train's goal and the conductor's goals are separate, though. Maybe the train's the one offering Tulip a way out, and the conductor is solely focused on keeping her on
the train's a good thing, and the conductor's corrupted the train.
Or maybe the train's like a neutral thing, honestly. Maybe not even a good thing, but it's not like, I don't think they necessarily have the same goal.
Tulip defeats the conductor and then returns the train, puts it to good use or something after. I think it's a lot for the conductor and the train to be seen as separate entities, but there's also so much to be resolved in 2 episodes, so that's not really a good, I guess it's probably going to be hard for them to do everything. But I do think, like, what are we looking for tomorrow? I think the main thing I'm looking for tomorrow is answers to a lot of these things. I don't think, like, every single thing, especially if there's more episodes, I don't think every single thing needs to be answered for it to be a satisfactory ending.
Yay.
But I still think, like, over half of these things need to be answered, and it's a lot of stuff to do. So I think I'm, like, very fascinated to see how the show deals with all this, and considering there's so much stuff, it almost makes it still feels like a This Is Tulip's video game type ending, just because it's like you can do a thing that explains all the things if you just make it a thing inside a thing like that. That's the only way to really answer everything so quickly, is to just make it a simulation or a video game or something like that. But I think there's things in the ball pit card that say that's not it. It being 1-1 being more important than Tulip just being supposed to stay put. It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't completely give you that impression that this is just a Tulip video game about Tulip's emotional journey. I think like this wasn't necessarily the biggest indicator of that this whole episode. But
I don't know. Yeah.
But also just chastising Tulip though. So I don't know. It's still, I think it still could be that, but, I don't know. Any pressing theories that anyone's thinking of right now? I think it's I think it's mostly just like, yeah, bring on tomorrow. Who knows? We don't really know what's going on. Yeah.
It's just so interesting that, like, we're almost at the end and there's still, like, so many different theories that you could, like, formulate based, like, and it seems like every night, like, our opinions change and we're like, yeah, it's definitely this. And then the next night we're like, okay, never mind. Like, it's totally this. And we're like, so it's just really fascinating. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's hard because I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter what I think. It's going to be wrong anyway. So.
Right, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt this, but I just saw a thing. Am I allowed? People spotted the conductor in episode 1.
Wait, where?
Yeah, I saw that on our Discord, but where? Is that relevant?
Where was Blanket Boy hiding?
The conductor was watching Tulip wake up in her car.
Wait, what? Can you share this on Skype now?
Yeah,
I see it.
It's on. It's
a
post on Reddit. Oh, it's 10 days ago though, so this is
no. It was when it happened originally. It seems like. But
share
like,
so it's,
he was in the car with one.
Sure, you can quit the thing and you can.
So
see
it definitely.
So here's the story. So someone posted on Reddit 10 days ago. Something's weird in the background when Tulip first wakes up in episode 1, and so you see behind the trees that there's some.
Oh my god! It's
things.
just his head without the blanket. Yeah, that's his mom. It's gotta be. It's gotta be his mom, and he floats for some reason, and he's hiding his organ hole where Wan came from with the blanket.
Maybe he's got a white blanket on.
And then immediately after this, Tulip finds Wan. Like, it's just
totally.
So people are saying this orb in the background is the conductor. So
it looks a lot like the conductor's head. To be fair,
it has to be
it's
him.
An orb shape, yeah.
Or an elongated, like, oval or ellipsis type shape.
Yeah, so if the conductor's watching Tulip wake up, then that would point you towards this is all about Tulip. Right? Like, it's, I mean, 1-1's also there, so it could be also about 1-1, but maybe the conductor left 1-1 behind when...
He seemed to react to Tulip waking up. Like, it seems that he doesn't want to... He seems to not want Tulip to know he's there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wonder if like, okay, maybe the conductor obviously, like, personalizes these cars or whatever, and so the conductor was like, oh, you weren't supposed to have woken up yet, and is trying to get out of there. But then that would also explain why the conductor is so focused on finding Wan, because Wan wasn't supposed to be left behind.
Yeah, maybe he, like, just dropped 1-1.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That makes sense to me. And it could be that this is, like, Tulip specifically waiting but maybe he does this for every passenger in the train. Maybe he leaves them there and they wake up. And he's just making sure they wake up, and he accidentally left behind 1-1, and now that's why he needs 1-1 eliminated, because it's big dangerous. Yeah, so I feel like heading into tomorrow, the number one theory on the board is, like, this is a Tulip simulation of some, like, this is a thing inside a thing that's meant for Tulip. Like, it's her video game, or someone trapped her in this, and it's all about her. I feel like that's the base level. I mean, it's like, it's not like a base level idea I had in the show, but I feel like that's kind of where all of our speculation keeps ending up. And I think the conductor being there maybe supports that, but it also could just be that she's one of many passengers on the train. There's still other things in play, so I think that's really interesting.
It is a train with an infinite amount of cars.
Yeah.
Infinite cars, infinite possibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
Sorry, I'm just, like, stuck on this first car now, because that means there's a lot more importance to where she woke up then, because she was specifically put there. It wasn't, like, random. Yeah. Like, they started her
What is
there.
it about, like, this winter car that's so special to Tulip?
It kind of matches where she came from, and that might have been purposeful. Like, they wanted
it's like she came from a cold place, so...
Like,
I feel like that was more for the audience to be like, oh, surprise, you're in a car.
No, that's what you think, but then maybe they're subverting that now.
There's more to it.
Like,
but she's trying to get to Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
So Minnesota has a lot of snow, and
she's from and going to, I think, the same state. Yeah,
but I think the point is this is supposed to be something for her that is like where she came from, and that's not just a trick for the audience. It's supposed to be for Tulip on purpose, because she was clearly put here by something on, like, this wasn't just random. Like, I think before this episode, I thought it was a coincidence that it was, like, snowy just like that. But now I see this. It's like, oh, they put her here like this very purposefully for this to happen and her to have this reaction.
Maybe we'll find out.
What are you thinking overall then?
I think that what's the thing that pops out to me is that I think there might be more than one of these things of the Conductor, because this Conductor we see here is just acting so differently. It's so different than just this Overwatch type thing that just drops off Tulip in this car. Like, maybe there's more than one of these. Like, maybe these are... Maybe the Storm is making these. Like, each of the passengers, like, gets sucked up and turned into one of these, and they make the cars or whatever. Like, it seems like there needs to be some way to keep continuing this process, to keep... Because even if it is, quote-unquote, infinite, like, they need a place to get these infinite ideas from and infinite cars from. Like, maybe there's more than one Conductor because there's infinite cars is maybe I think my
that makes sense
theory.
Yeah.
And sorry.
Yeah, well, are we like sucking up the humans to like use that? I mean, that is generally, it's a good point that an infinite train needs fuel. Maybe in terms of car ideas, in terms of like energy. Like it turns the dog into the thing, and then it sucks up Tulip's energy. Yeah. Like, you're trying to suck up the life force to power the train. That's always been in play.
But the dogs were off the train too.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you get? Yeah. How do you
well,
get the energy
from the dogs? Another question is like, where is off the train? That's still a good question.
The desert with the cloud.
What is that? Yeah, what is that?
That's just where it is, Dylan.
No, that's not a real place. Okay, but
yeah, it is. We saw it twice. It's real.
Michelle doesn't care about off the train, but the blanket. The blanket's
oh my
important.
God,
blanket's really important.
The blanket's very important.
When the Conductor takes the blanket off,
and he's naked. That's why he
you'll
flew
be thinking
away.
about Michelle.
You realize
I am so sad you're not on the podcast tomorrow, Michelle. Like, I need your.
I'm not. I need to be on it, but I can't. There's too many people.
Oh, just quickly email it into us.
We'll see. If the blanket is key, we might need to make an exception to get that.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think we're safe, but we'll see.
No, don't say that. I want to know.
Don't doubt the power of the blanket, okay?
The power of the blanket. Okay, other things from the ball pit car. Yeah, I mean, we talked about all the plot stuff at the end. Also, there's the steward having like so many arms and stuff. I think that was notable, different. I mean, we knew that, but it's like everywhere inside the what do we call the car? It's like a ball pit, but it's like a jungle gym.
It's like
it's the play place. They call them play places.
It's like, have you ever been to Chuck E. Cheese?
No, like I've definitely like this definitely like was like super nostalgic for me. I just don't know what the exact name is.
They're called play places.
Well, yeah, they're called play places, but like Chuck E. Cheese had one, though, like it was a smaller one. And then where I grew up, there was a place called Tumble Drum, and it was literally like a huge building, and it was just like filled with like all of those tunnels and like ball pits and like slides.
You know where the main one I remember this from is actually in Funland, like the real Funland has one of these, and I remember going to that place.
I remember these for how gross they were.
Yeah, because kids always pee in the ball pit. Like a rite of passage.
No,
not for everyone to pee, but to encounter the pee at some point in your childhood in the ball pit. It's a rite of passage.
Is it?
Yeah.
One of my best friends would always get sick.
It's absolutely insane to me that people let their kids just like go free in these things. Like there's like go ahead.
They need a break.
It was I know it was just it's a very like powerful nostalgia thing. It was like it's like big adventure, like going around this giant thing. It was pretty good.
No, it was really fun. It was just I kept thinking like Tulip, like wash your hands, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, is she ever gonna get those shoes back now that she's given them up to the cub?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I think the juxtaposition between we see Khaki Bottoms, this like stuffed bunny that's having her complete these trials, which are just the basic things in there.
He's such a sweet bunny.
Yeah, voiced by Ron Funches, who's also Fox in Final Space. So.
No wonder I loved him.
Oh my God,
I'm not that attached to Fox,
that's
but
amazing.
Yeah, it's just funny the two characters.
He needs to be in more things.
He's really good. Yeah, and I just the like so carefree and Tulip like happily like easily solving everything into like the horror that follows.
It was just so cute.
But I loved like how there were shadows of the steward as she was doing stuff.
Yeah.
They were crossing over.
I saw in like the windows. I think at some point I saw some arms.
Would shadow in the windows and everything.
But it was just enough for like she was having fun, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm like, okay, guys, please keep moving. Please keep moving. Please keep moving.
Don't stay there, please.
The dread's building.
So it is also cute, but such a perfect place for the horror murdering that happens at the end of the episode.
You mean the makeover?
No.
No, I mean the murder of the precious dog Atticus.
I mean, I guess like his dogness was murdered. I mean, I was really shocked if they were going to let him just be dead, and then he transformed. Like, okay, maybe that's how they got it through like S&P.
I still don't
they did. But isn't being a cockroach worse than dead?
It's worse than death.
He can fly and he can suck out people.
Will Atticus come back at the end? I don't know. We'll see.
He needs to get his crown back.
I think we have to, because at this point they've made the cockroach dog stuff part of the mystery, so we need to figure out why.
Well, it needs to be addressed.
Because it happened twice now.
I think either he'll turn back, or if it's all just not real, then it doesn't matter. But like that's the other answer.
I'd be really disappointed if it's not real. Like I think I need this to be real, because it just everything has so much weight to it so far, and like it feels important.
I generally agree with that. Yes, that's kind of what I've been saying all along. I don't like the metaphorical type endings. I think there's a way to do it if it's Tulip's video game. I feel like something like that. I think there's a way to do it, but I don't know. How can it be? How you have to thread the needle? How can it be real? Like all this crazy stuff. Like it just can't be completely real.
The power of magic and science.
Exactly. Hello, we keep saying that. It's magic and science.
With their powers combined, they can create an infinity train.
The only way the infinity train is like a literal thing on Earth is if we're going to do an anthology series where we keep visiting it. Then it maybe makes sense to make it a literal thing. But it's hard to imagine this being like a real thing, the infinity train.
Imagine it, Dylan. Just accept.
It's like any of those journeys. It's like Labyrinth or, Polar Express. Like, you just need one remnant of that journey to stay present in her everyday life to prove it happened. And then they don't have to explain
all the
positive
memory for Tulip with the time her dog friend got brutally murdered in front of her.
Well, it was nice before that, though. She fall through the
so you're saying the infinity train's like supposed to be some like fantasy that was gone horribly wrong now. Some like positive fantasy for Tulip to visit and come back from it that's just gotten twisted and wrong now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I feel like there's a way they can be like, oh, this was all legit, but also she's never going to speak of this again if she ever gets out.
This is definitely a let's never speak of this again.
Okay.
The rest of Balpic car, they're in like a business chart car to start with. And then
I love that.
Declaring bankruptcy. Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Mary Michael Scott, like
that definitely felt like a reference.
Yeah, and she's they're in the ball pit, and I like one like look at all these mums about the balls, and they're all very excited to come in.
Cute.
Yeah,
I thought it was also very sweet because he was like, "Let's go," and she's just like, "I don't know. I mean, if we're going to,
they're like, we want to have fun." I also think it's cute she lets them go through. Like, she can progress very easily, but they can't. But she always stops to like help the rest of them through, which makes the brutal murder like kind of more jarring somehow.
Thank you for calling it a brutal murder, Michelle. Thank you
for recognizing.
I mean, a makeover, but also brutal murder.
Oh, okay. We've progressed. Okay. Okay, let's talk the Chrome car. There's a lot of stuff in the Balpic car, but also this like big character episode for Tulip. It's like mirror world, and then her mirror thing. The logic of this episode is so nuts. Like, I don't know. Before Balpic car, it has like, wow, what a night. Like, this is on its own. This was so amazing, and we're not going to give it its due because we got 10 minutes-ish left. But like, we got like there's just so much. I say that, but we'll see how long we go. It's the Tulip like mirror thing comes, and there's these mirror cops, and they can like switch places, and the thing can only be attached to the reflection, and then her mirror version breaks out, and then it like has a haircut, and it's like, go be whoever you, good luck to whoever you turn out to be. I love that line. I don't know. This is all just so amazing. It's also like all used as a vehicle for more character commentary with Tulip.
This is probably my favorite episode of the series so far. Like, I just really love this episode. It's
really up there for me. Yeah.
It's just so it's just so. It's what I expect the show to be. Like, it's just a car about one. It's like every episode's a bottle episode, but about something different, and it's so interesting, and I'm always so invested in what we're doing. But this one, I was so much more invested in the idea that they had, the really interesting thing they were doing here with the mirrors. But at the same time, like you said, there's so much character stuff happening, and like Tulip is just so interesting, and she's so introspective, and at the same time so not self-aware of herself. And it's really interesting to see what parts of herself she doesn't understand and what parts she wants to understand. And this mirror self is totally not her at the same time. And also there's this whole idea that the episode puts forward of this horrible like hellscape of being the reflection of somebody else and not actually being in control of your body. And that's horrifying.
Yeah, I agree. It's horrifying. I also think there's just this huge commentary at the end, Sarah, where it's like this Tulip's reflection, this her sliver person is magic slivers are meant to be she's like all she knows is being Tulip's reflection, and then when she breaks out, she like cuts her and she's her own person. And like this commentary on like us breaking free of like the constraints of who we're boxed into when we're born. Yeah, and like I also think there's part of it as like you're not beholden to the person that you see, or like the person you see yourself as, or like see in the mirror. Yeah, and I think there's a big part of that, and like I definitely connect to that, and I guess that's, you put that into words, that's definitely why I connected to a lot of things happening. Like that's not like this mirror, and I really love that at the end of it they don't give a name to her. Like they really carefully, like Tulip realizes that she doesn't get to do that. She doesn't get to choose what this mirror, this previous mirror of herself gets to be. And I really love that. Yeah, that with the line, good luck to whoever you turn out to be, is just so gorgeous at the end. I don't know. I saw a lot of trans themes, a lot of other generally progressive themes in that ending, and just everything with that character's journey. Definitely just want to rewatch it to nail the themes down more. But it's like so incredible with the mirror version, and also just like the commentary on Tulip's character at the same time. Like, it's the episode's kind of accomplishing both things really well. That's what's so incredible though. Like it has this incredible theme and this incredible character story at the same time, and I don't know how they can do both. And they're both so. It's an 11-minute episode.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
How is this 11 minutes?
I think we say that a lot on this podcast because we largely cover 11-minute shows, not completely, but I feel like we've said it, maybe feel it more for Infinity Train than ever. Like how is the show accomplishing so much in that short a time?
Exactly, that's the thing though. Like it is accomplishing like so much, and that's kind of like, I mean, like you said, we watch like so many shows that we cover are 11-minute episodes, but like I feel like none of them are as like in depth as like this one has been. I mean, some of them have been, but also like you're watching this 11-minute episode, but it doesn't feel like an 11-minute episode, but in the good way. Like it doesn't seem to like drag on or anything like that. Like you're fully engrossed the entire time from start to finish. And that's like amazing and beautiful and glorious.
I think a big thing with this is I'm not 100% sure about this, but I believe this is a script-driven show.
Oh, really?
Really?
I mean, so the credits say written by, storyboarded by. Usually it says written and storyboarded by for the storyboarders if it's board-driven. So like this would be the first 11-minute script-driven show I feel like I've encountered. Obviously, it makes sense to do Infinity Train as a script-driven show, but it's very atypical for Cartoon Network if that's what's going on.
Was Over the Garden Wall?
I think it was probably script-driven. Yeah, I think so. But I would have to check on that.
Yeah, I assume. I was just wondering if you knew off the top of your head.
I can look on it. Usually, you can tell by credits, but I don't know. I apologize if this is wrong, but I feel like it's like, it's like. It's very weird to have like such a script driven, even if it's just story heavy, like in general, like packed into 11-minute chunks. And it's like sometimes we're like, why is this show only 11 minutes? Like it could be so much more. But I feel like with this show, it's like making the most of its time constraint.
I don't know if I want more. Like specifically with this episode, I think it's just perfect this length. Like I don't want more of this car. I don't want more of this unnamed character because their story is done. Like this ending is perfect for me.
I think Over the Garden Wall was bored.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say like that's how most of the people for Over the Garden Wall feel. They're like that was a perfect, succinct story. We didn't need more padding. It did its job very well with the story it had to tell, and that's like enough. We're happy with that.
Exactly.
So I mean, this could be going for a very similar approach. I'd say it's definitely working so far.
I have to say, if Infinity Train sticks the landing, I like it more than Over the Garden Wall. That's like really high praise.
I think they're both good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
This
one's
show is
better.
this show is feeling consequent. Like the bit, like I love Over the Garden. The things that I said this before. The thing that frustrated me most is if it like it's not doing enough like overarching plot stuff. Like Infinity Train feels like way more consequential episode to episode.
Are you okay? Well, episode to episode, but like Over the Garden Wall is very consequential. If they had given up,
eventually,
dead. I mean, that's
I agree with
pretty
what
cool.
Dylan's saying, because like the end of Over the Garden Wall, like it all leads up to it and it's really great. But like this one, it feels like every episode is a step towards.
It's really going to depend on the ending.
It's
though,
like,
so
yeah,
we're going to see.
It's going to depend on the ending, but it's like, I don't know, because I appreciate both of them for like what they're doing, you know, because like I love that Over the Garden Wall doesn't have so much of like that like overarching like plot kind of within the episodes, and I love that about that show, but like I love that Infinity Train does have that overarching plot and like continues to build.
They're
each
their own thing, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're both like incredible in their own ways,
Totally,
but like. But what is it? Like they're definitely very similar. So it's like the same but
they're
different.
just structured. They're structured so similarly. It's hard not to compare them. Like, Owen said they based the structure, the 2 nights, two episodes a night, and they wrote it that way just based on Over the Garden Wall. So
really,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's also so that makes. I mean, obviously that makes a lot of sense. But then, like, that's also really something to say about Over the Garden Wall too. Is the fact that it could inspire, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's like that's one of the most influential things of modern animation for sure.
But also it's like the first miniseries cartoon ever did, and that's a pretty big deal too.
Yeah. And I think with me preferring Infinity Train, it's also I like plot driven stuff a little more, the personal preference.
I know you do.
I talk about it all the time, but yeah, I mean, really, we'll see what that ending is. We have 2 more episodes. The rest of Chrome Car. I mean, we haven't talked too much specifics, but all the crazy kind of mythology of the Chrome Car and the Chrome version of the world, the creepiness of the Chrome enforcers, the police, like they're just these like ball heads.
Man.
And they put on a mask and it like
oh my
God. And I was like, no, like I'm shivers down my spine. I was like, I'm not okay with this.
What did the masks do for them? How did that help them?
I don't know, but
they're
like,
was it to blend in?
They're like, you could blend in. Yeah, they're going
we're
through the
humans
barrier
too. We
the
got
real
man
world.
faces.
Faces.
I love the shot of 1-1 and Atticus like pulling the masks off, like we're melting people.
Yeah. They're doing good.
We had the opposite world, the Atticus and 1-1 as well, and then they get taken away. I like the use of Tulip's multi-tool, which was used throughout the episode, and then is the thing that lets the Tulip's reflection be free.
This is a big example of foreshadowing, and like it's done so well, and like you know exactly what she's going for, like you understand it, the logic is consistent, but it doesn't feel like, hey, here's the Chekhov's gun of the episode. Like it's so good.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is
too. So it got her out of the trunk of the car, and she could use the reflector for chrome.
Yeah, and it's used in the beginning with the jelly.
I believe Tulip would have a multi-tool. Like,
that was my reaction at first. Was like, this like really fits her just carrying this around as opposed to like a purse or something, right? Like
you didn't question it. You were like, all right, multi-tool. Here we are.
That the use of that was really incredible. Speaking of Tulip character stuff, I guess the sliver one's like you never get help from anyone, and talking about all the things that that Tulip did that they experienced, and so that I think that was really good. And then at the ends with like freeing her, and also like using it as a vehicle to like let her take off the glove and be more accepting of, I guess, like
the person she sees in the mirror. Like she's accepting what she sees on herself, and I like that a lot. She's accepting the person that she's becoming because of the train.
Yeah,
that's a good
but
way
also
of putting it.
the Chrome person said a very interesting thing, which actually makes me feel, because I was really scared before about where the overarching point to everything might be, but she tells Tulip, like, don't let the car tell you what to do. Like you forge your own path. And I like that she kind of gave the power back to Tulip about her choices and her path and not in the hands of the train, because that was the thing that was really making me scared. Like if the train's like going to force her to learn a lesson that's out of her control, that seems really creepy. But if she's the one who has the power, then like that's okay. So I thought that was a really good line too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is all about Tulip forging her own destiny, and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I said it like yesterday in the day before. It's like Tulip like suddenly became this incredible character, and I don't know. I feel like she's just like such a good character at this point, like in such a short amount of time. Yeah, like definitely one of my favorites of the year.
And I love that this episode follows the episode where we see the full divorce story. Like it fits so well. Like her relating her trauma and like problems with her life to this other person. Like it's such a good way to show how people develop empathy. Like seeing like, oh, people have problems and I can relate that to something I've had, even if it's not exactly.
That's a really good point too. Wow. Yeah. So she has experiences her own things and then is applying that to the sliver tulip situation.
Yeah, and it's a completely different situation, but she sees how it's a similar emotion, and that's the important part of growing up for her. Like she needs to see that there's. And I think that she's going to learn to apply that to her parents, too, that they're not having this simple thing either. They're not having this simple end to their marriage. Like, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of emotions.
That's a really good point, because that's how she's reacting to the divorce, is like it's about how she's being affected by the situation. So this is, I think, a lot of, you're right. A lot of this is like her learning to handle emotions and how other people are handling emotions and seeing the world entirely all around her through that lens.
And that makes a lot of sense, because in the cat car episode, like the whole issue with the fake memories is that when she's confronting her parents, and she's confronted with the fact that her parents are unhappy and that this marriage is not working out for them, and that like Sarah was saying, like it's not easy for them either. And it's not like it's her fault, but it's also like they deserve to be happy in whichever way they want to go. But that also means that if the culmination is like she's learning to forgive her parents for having a divorce, like I don't know, it really is going to depend on how they're handling it. But like I think the Chrome card did a lot to convince me they might have a really good way of bringing that about. So
I think it's not just she's learning to forgive her parents. I think that's part of it. I think it's like she's learning to that and everything around her in the rest of her life, right? Like I think that's going to be a part of it.
Well, it's a lot to process.
And
so
I mean, this is like a pretty life-changing experience. She's through, so.
Her forgiving her parents and talking to her parents is going to be the culmination of her change, but it's not why she's changing. It's not what she's becoming more of herself. She's growing from this pain she has, and it's helping her understand other people, but she's still growing for her own sake here. And I like that. Like she's growing because she's pushed down this part of herself. And that's clear. Like at the beginning of the show, I thought that she was having, like, she just didn't think emotionally. It's that she's pushed these down. Like she has this side of her that's emotional is a part of Tulip. It's just as much Tulip as the reasoning logical part that we kind of fell in love with at the beginning.
Yeah, I love that way of putting it too. It's not that she's like learning emotions where she was logical before. It's that she's like learning to embrace her emotional side and not push it down. Yeah. I think that's great.
And at least, and then also just finding, like, it seems like she's also working on finding a better way to like deal with those emotions on top of that as well. Like, because there's a difference between like you have to one, accept like your emotions, and then two, like, you know, build from there kind of situation. So I think that's something that it won't be like outwardly addressed, but I feel like it'll like come to fruition at the same time.
Oh, definitely.
And like this is on top of the plot stuff that we're like mythology stuff. It's like here's all the stuff that needs to be wrapped up. Most of all, it's like this arc that Tulip's on needs to be wrapped up. Like in the last, it's like, what are we gonna do that does all this in 22 minutes?
I think we only need to wrap up Tulip, and I think it's gonna be satisfying. Honestly,
certainly, it seems like that's the most important thing to wrap up.
Yeah.
If we wrap up Tulip, then I will be okay. Like if I never figure out the answer to the dumb numbers, or
but
like I'll be upset. But
that could be like, because I think the big like crazy theories going on in the background is that no one said the word miniseries about this show. Like they haven't actually.
No one has said miniseries. Yeah, I mean, we've been
Has
through.
he?
Owen at first said Infinity Train is 10 episodes, and then later said the first 10 episodes. But we'll see what's going on.
But let's say like if it is more, like maybe
Yeah.
we don't get all the answers to the Train the series. We just get the finish of Tulip's story.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. If this is Tulip's arc in the anthology series, that is Infinity Train. Sure, you just wrap up Tulip. Yeah, I'm totally on board with
Great.
that.
I would be so happy if
I'd be really happy because it means we get more of this, right?
Yeah.
It also means that the Conductor doesn't necessarily have to be related to Tulip in terms of thematic arc. We don't have to search why
Right.
he's related to Tulip. We can
Right.
just say, oh, he's this overarching villain for the show, and we can figure that out later. We can focus on Tulip being Tulip and figure out him later.
I think that the other thing you can do is that you wrap up the plot stuff through Tulip's arc.
Yes.
You know, like Tulip's arc is the most important thing, but as that happens, other plot stuff, like that's why the kind of like this is a video game Tulip makes sense because it's Tulip's arc. It explains the plot stuff as well. Something like that where first and foremost we're addressing Tulip, but also while we're doing that, these other questions are getting answered. I certainly am not going to expect like 0 questions to get answered tomorrow. I think the number thing is going to get answered.
I think at least one thing will. But I mean, I would not be surprised at this point that not everything gets answered because it just doesn't seem like we have enough time. But not in a bad way, but in like we can focus on Tulip and it'll be amazing, and then we'll have more questions later.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, on the other end, look how much we did at these 2 episodes.
I
right?
know, you're right.
Yeah,
You're totally right.
I think even if there's more episodes, I think we're answering a lot of these questions. I maybe not like everything, maybe not a high level answer. You know, like I think the number thing needs to be answered. I think 1-1 needs to be answered. You know, like stuff like that, like things. So we're gonna get some answers. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
like there's no way we're not getting.
I think the Conductor, 1-1, and the number hand thing are the 3 things we might get answers for. I think the Train itself will probably remain a larger mystery. That's just I think that's I mean, I think that I would rank those ahead of the Train itself being answered as well. I my gut feeling right now is we're kind of going to answer the Train too with like a metaphorical type ending, but you know, I don't. We'll see. We'll see.
I think that's in play. Okay. Michelle, final thoughts?
I think Cat Redemption again is still in play, and I'm excited. I want to see under that blanket, and I just want to say, like, Sarah, you did such an amazing job explaining what the Chrome car meant, and I didn't realize any of that, and now I am gonna have to listen to this again so that I can go back.
There's analysis after one viewing of the character
Clearly
stuff.
Somebody did a really good job writing and boarding this, and they deserve all the accolades because honestly, it felt really good, and I didn't quite know why, and now I can understand a little more why. So thank you for your brain and thought.
Thank you for your brain. Yeah, that's what we're saying when we're harvesting brains in Infinity Train. That's the whole purpose of this. That's the whole purpose of this train. Sarah, any final closing thoughts?
Just that clearly I really, really loved the Chrome Car episode. I didn't not like the ball pit, but just the Chrome Car episode was just beautiful to me. I really loved it, and I really do think, especially after talking about it more, like this is my favorite episode of the series so far. I would love if they top it, but like I don't know if that's possible just because this is such a good enclosed episode. I'll just end by saying we didn't mention one thing that happened. Was this episode the one with the teeth brushing?
Yes.
That was so cute. Yeah.
That was probably the cutest thing of the episode.
Oh, that was next up. That was ball pit card.
Oh, I'm sorry, but either way, I really like that scene.
There's each episode has like the beginning 30 seconds, so those are easily confused, right? Like there's the we came from this car, and which I kind of poo-pooed earlier in these podcasts. It's like it's going to be a tired structure, and it is the same thing every time, but it's been delightful.
I
so
enjoy it every time.
Yeah,
it's every time, and it's been different.
Yeah.
And
they've used it in different ways. I appreciate that. Yeah. April, final thoughts here.
So I think these 2 episodes have been my favorite so far, and I think I agree with Sarah that the Chrome Car is my favorite episode too, especially after like talking about it with everyone. So, just because like the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, no, that one's definitely my favorite. Also, I wanted to. From Chrome Car, no one brought up that Atticus was barking at himself in the
Oh my God.
I such a dog thing.
Which
Sorry.
I love that. That's like one of my favorite things is that Atticus has like all of these very like dog moments, and like him barking at himself in the mirror was just great because it just made me think of like my dog, and she'll like try and play with herself in the mirror, which doesn't always work out for her, obviously. But it's very like it was just a very like sweet small moment that I was like, oh, like look at that doggo. So, but yeah, Chrome Car is my favorite as well, so I'm with you,
Nice.
Sarah.
I'm glad
the Atticus being a dog thing has been from the pilot and has been like a thing they've continued throughout the show.
I think it's a good thing that they continued. Like,
Yeah, it's fine.
like
yeah.
I loved when she like when she pushed out his hair that was all like curled up.
yeah.
And she was just like, "It's so cute, though. All right, I'll fix it."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these were wonderful episodes. I kind of agree that the Chrome Car might be the best of the show, but I also think the Ball Pit Car, for what it's doing, is also really incredible. I mean, there's just like half of these episodes are like...
Right.
Yeah. For the, like, Chrome Car is just like the kind of episode I like. I love
I agree. I'm also like...
And that's just biased from
favorite
my
towards
part.
that
Like, the Ball Pit
episode,
is a great episode. It's just I like these character episodes more personally.
Yeah.
I think there's... We're 8 episodes, and I think 4 of these episodes are like 4 out of the top 10 animation episodes there. I think that's how good this has been. Like, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and hopefully more to come with the last 2 episodes coming tomorrow. Let us know what you thought of these episodes. Get your final predictions in before tomorrow. I also think there's gonna be a lot of people listening back to these after like the show is aired and watching marathoning it, and so it'll be funny how wrong we are. But
that'll be great.
I'm excited to like rewatch this entire series.
Binge it at once, like as a unit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, especially because like I feel like there's a lot of things that I may have like missed and like continue to miss, because just like with Over the Garden Wall, again comparing it to that, but like every time I rewatch that show, I always feel like I'm like, oh hey, there's that thing there, like, and that comes up later. So I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of like similar reactions rewatching this show.
It's also, I really want to rewatch Over the Garden Wall now that we're watching Infinity.
Yeah,
Train.
let's do like an October episode by episode recap. Can we please?
Yeah, I mean,
So good.
several years ago, Delaney and I did an episode by episode recap of Over the Garden Wall. We could do a revisiting of some sort.
Okay.
We do Over the Garden Wall podcast. That is one of the first things we did on this podcast. Yeah, there's a lot, very old. But yeah, at the very least, we could like all watch it and then do a
Halloween
whole series.
Yes.
Retrospective. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. Okay, word. Okay, so, overlyanimated.com, youtube.com/overlyanimated, and our aforementioned Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord, to get your last speculations in, talk about this show. It was Toxin_X who posted that Reddit link, by the way, and that's really interesting, so thank you. You can support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Hope, a.k.a. Katara, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, Hugh, Michael, and Needle. Yep, back for the finale tomorrow. Gonna be big, so check that out, and we will see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.